We're going to start off with our first speaker, and when she's finished, we're going to do some question and answers, and then we will talk to someone else because Cora has a very important meeting to keep all of this stuff going that she's got going on right now. So this year marks the 100th anniversary of Route 66, and Springfield has been chosen as the national starting point for the celebration. Cora Scott, Director of Public Information and Civic Engagement for the City of Springfield, and chair of both the Missouri Route 66 Centennial Commission and the National Route 66 Centennial kickoff celebration. By the way, I practiced that word centennial many times. She's going to share what it's taken to plan this once-in-a-generation event that's coming April 30th through May 3rd right here in our city. So, Cora, come on up and talk to us about planning a historic moment.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm going to have my partner in crime, Mona, watch the clock for me because I can tend to be extremely verbose, but especially when I'm talking about this because it's so exciting. First things first, Matt Hudson, Rick Fay, go Parkview High School. Woo! Parkview alums. Eric as well? Oh, nice. Good to see you, Representative Burleson and Director Helms. Thanks for being in the district today. So we have a once-in-a-lifetime event that's going to take place April 30th through May 3rd in Springfield, Missouri. I was asked by the now Governor Mike Kehoe to be a part of the Missouri Route 66 Centennial Commission 3 years ago. And the purpose was to convene an appointed group of citizens to plan for the 100th anniversary of Route 66, specifically through Missouri. So we have an incredible team of people that represent each of the 10 counties across the state of Missouri that have Route 66 going through that. And guess what? It's a bunch of dreamers, but a bunch of can-do people that really wanted to maximize what we could do in the 2 years leading up and then on April 30th forward for the centennial anniversary. So really briefly, we have focused on three major areas, and we've been allocated a little over $3 million for 3 years to prepare for this year celebration. First of all, we have provided special event grants to those 10 counties throughout Missouri to start Route 66 related events, shore up the ones that already existed, and then really plan so that by 26 we could have incredible events going on all across the state throughout 2026. We also provided grants for what are called interactive signs, and you may have seen the one in Springfield. It's at Jefferson and Park Central East, St. Louis there. It's a big 66 sign that you can climb inside and get your picture taken. We have 10 of those across the state of Missouri, and so you can collect all the selfies and have a lot of fun with that. The third thing was kind of an aggressive idea that was actually Brian McDonough, who's the general manager of KY3, and that was to build new tour stops across the state of Missouri. Okay, we had a total of $3 million for all of this, and we only had 2 years to do it, but we pulled it off. We put out the parameters, and we were able to grant three tour stops across the state of Missouri. One of them is in Laclede County, which is underneath the Gasconade Bridge. It's a troll sculpture that's being created right now. The second one is in Webster County. It's our friend Lyndall Fraker and team who actually moved an old filling station, turned it into a visitor center, put that interactive sign out there, right there. So it's a nice new tour stop in Marshfield. And in Springfield, we created the Birthplace Plaza. So those of you who may not know, the reason we're called the birthplace of Route 66 is because it was during a major regional Rotary convention on April 30th of 1926 that transportation officials came together at the Colonial Hotel, which then was at Jefferson and St. Louis. They sent a famous telegram telling the feds that we should name it Route 66. And it also cemented the route to make sure it went through these Midwest cities and states. So there was a little guy named Cyrus Avey from Tulsa. That's a minor part of the story. But then there was our guy, which was John T. Woodruff, who was like a developer on steroids back in the 1900s. So we celebrate that we are the official birthplace. So we also, the commission had the opportunity to apply with the U.S. Centennial Commission to be the national kickoff city. So we were vying with all of the cities across Route 66 to be named the National Kickoff City. Guess what? We won. So we had this amazing opportunity to plan a national kickoff event that had to be on April 30th because that's the anniversary, and we've turned it into a 3-day celebration. So we're very fortunate that we had that seed funding from the state of Missouri, but I'm happy to say that thanks to Springfield, Southwest Missouri, and the state of Missouri sponsors, we've more than doubled that investment, and we're going to have a heck of a party, you guys. And that's why we attracted NBC's Today Show. So that's the very first thing that's going to happen, and you have a flyer at your table that has all of these details. So I'm going to just hit the high points, and all of this is on Route66kickoff.com. But it's definitely a high point that we will have, not only will we have a national television show in Springfield, focusing on Springfield and Missouri, they will broadcast the entire third hour. So from 8 to 9, there will be a show on Route 66 through Springfield and the state of Missouri. And they've got some amazing segments planned. You can imagine what they're going to highlight in our area. They had too many things that they couldn't even do everything that they wanted to do. When I had them on the phone early on, we get to the end of the meeting, and one of the producers literally said to me, "Cora, what is in the water there in Southwest Missouri?" I said, "Come taste it. Come here." So they're coming here. And so we'll have Al Roker, Dylan Dreyer, Laura Jarrett on an anchor desk in the middle of Park Central East, right there in front of the Gilloy's Theater and the new Birthplace Plaza. And they will say, "Live from Springfield, Missouri, it's the Today Show." So, woo, we're really excited about that. Please join us. It's free, but you do have to register because they will fence off the entire area. We have to keep everybody safe. And so you will have a check-in of, really early in the morning. They want everybody there by 5:30 or 6. But it'll be worth it. You'll have a moment on TV, and you'll be able to tell your children and your grandchildren that you were there at the 100th anniversary of Route 66. So we wanted to also celebrate America's 250. So we do have some activities. We decided to leverage that investment and do this at the same time. So there's also a Celebrate America on Route 66 parade. That will take place on Friday evening at 6 o'clock. It starts at St. Louis and Glenstone, travels east down Route 66 all the way to Campbell. Details are online, but I'm telling you, you won't want to miss that. That's free for families. You'll want to come out and enjoy all of the activities. Missouri State University is going to have a float with actor John Goodman. We have friends from Amarillo, Texas coming, bringing 2 floats. This truly is a national celebration. On Thursday night, it was referenced earlier, there is a kickoff concert at Great Southern Bank Arena, and we have brought in a killer lineup of artists. We've got Little Big Town, Chris Jansen, Gary Lovox of Rascal Flatts, Gretchen Wilson, and we couldn't have a concert without our hometown heroes, Ozark Mountain Daredevils and the Haygoods out of Branson. Woo! Here's a little secret, guys. Tickets are on sale right now. We have a flash sale. You can get any seat in the arena for $66, fees included. Only available until Friday. Hop on, because even if you're not a country music fan, we are going to these satellite cities live and see performances from Santa Monica, Joliet, Illinois, St. Louis. This will be a concert in, it's basically a variety show hosted by John Goodman and Callie Carroll, one of our council people. So really, really fun concert. Plus, in order to break even, I have to sell this out. That's pretty shameless. But it really has been like a labor of love for your commissioners on the Centennial Commission. We have activities going on, like I said, across the state throughout the rest of the year, 2026, and then even into 2027, because it's recognized that April 30th is the actual anniversary date. So you'll hear more and more about that. But as part of the celebration, we couldn't help but go to our friends at C Street, Commercial Street, and ask them if they wanted to get on the fun. And Mona was crazy enough to say yes. So we have been planning to celebrate the work on the iconic Jefferson Avenue footbridge, which is over 100 years old itself. The city has been rehabbing that for about 97 years. It will almost be done in time for this event. You can't walk on it, but it's okay. We're going to light it up, and Mona's going to tell you more about that. But there will be a classic car show as a part of that as well. So we tried to pack everything in 3 days. It's not like the August Festival where there's a closed footprint and lots of roads closed. It's quite the opposite. You'll be able to go from venue to venue and see Route 66 and choose the activities that are of interest to you. Some of them are ticketed events, some are not. I neglected to mention that the culminating event is called the Telegraph Ball. That is celebrating that iconic sending of the telegram. We're going to take it back to 1926 inside the historic Shrine Mosque. Everybody's going to wear 20s attire. You ought to look at the AI photos they did of the governor and Mayor Schrag. They're spot on. But that is a ticketed event, a fundraiser, live auction, music, to help recoup some of these costs as well. So again, our goal is to break even with that Missouri money, and we're going to get there. I'd be happy to answer any questions before I hand this off to Mona to go deeper into the details about the Footbridge Bash. Any questions? Yes, sir.
Looking at a bunch of posts and stuff on what we're doing here, it seems like Tulsa's kind of a competitor for ours.
You said Tulsa out loud. Okay. Tulsa shares the history in that they had a developer named Cyrus Avery who was in Springfield at the time of that Rotary Convention, and so he was instrumental as well as with John T. Woodruff. So over the years, Tulsa and Springfield has kind of have a friendly rivalry. They had the Today Show in Tulsa in October, but I went to visit that. They've been nothing but helpful. But it is kind of a friendly rivalry between the two. Oklahoma has spent $100 million over the last 5 years promoting Route 66. So they have really leaned in on that brand. Yes, ma'am.
Volunteer opportunities?
Yes, thank
yes.
you. Lots of volunteer opportunities. So that ranges from greeters at the Today Show activation to the parade to the Telegraph Ball, helping to set up for that. The concert has opportunities. There's a concert fan fest that starts a couple of hours out, and it's before the concert, and it takes place. Amarillo is bringing a 72-ounce steak eating competition. If you eat it within an hour, it's free. So that's a legendary steakhouse there in Amarillo. And lots of fun things like that going on. But sign up at route66kickoff.com to volunteer. You get a free t-shirt and a sticker. I'm leaving these stickers here, so if anybody, these are hot off the press. We launched an online store today. You'll probably hear about that at route66kickoff.com. You can order all of your National Kickoff swag. We have some Commercial Street swag as well. So
Yes.
There's a lot there on that website. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Mona. Thank you.
Actually.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for,
Oh, you're pretty good.
That's exciting, and thank you for leaving
You did great.
gifts for us. We
Sure.
love that.
You got plenty of time.
Stickers
Posters as well.
and posters.
Please help us get the word out.
Fantastic. Okay, so next we are going to talk about the Jefferson Avenue Footbridge. It's coming back.
Yes.
And I have Mona here, and she is the chair of Friends of the Footbridge and the chair of the Red, White, and Bridge Bash. I love the name.
Thank you.
She's going to share the story behind the upcoming May 1st and 2nd celebration of the restoration and rededication of the historic Jefferson Avenue Footbridge, happening right on historic Commercial Street in North Springfield. This is our neighborhood, and I'm so excited for you to come and talk to us about
Sorry.
that.
Thank
Off
you.
you go.
Off I go. Thank
We're
you.
going to go make more cool things
I'm still
happen.
selling sponsorships if anyone's interested.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
We've
Thank
both
you,
been
guys.
like cats on a hot
Thanks.
tin roof. That's why I wear my phone around my neck now.
Oh, microphone.
This all started essentially, I had worked for years with the group on C Street trying to get the bridge restored. But literally the day after we got the word that the governor had signed and the money was coming in, I used to live on C Street. I don't have any vested interest in it. It's just home for me. I got hold of the three major organizations there, the Commercial Club, the C Street Merchants Associates, and the CID, and a couple of other stakeholders and said, we need to have a meeting and decide where we go now. So we held, over those almost 2 years now, we held bridge brats and brainstorming sessions where we brought in neighborhoods, we brought in the neighborhoods around C Street. What do you want to see? We have long-range plans as to what will happen at the Footbridge Plaza, a number of things. But out of that was, we got to celebrate. We got to celebrate that we won this. We got to celebrate its history. We got to celebrate what's going on. Then the news came out about the 100th anniversary, and we started negotiating and talking with the city about how we can tie those things together. And last fall, we did the official collaboration with the city. So we've been planning this, going on, really hardcore planning for almost a year. There will be 2 days of celebration. Friday night, you have a little flyer there that's got the schedule that I've put a few on the tables, but I have a stack up here if you'd like to come get it. Friday night definitely will be the place to be, because Cora mentioned the car shows. I actually have coordinated two. Friday night, the cars that are part of the great race, the vintage race that comes through town, those will be on C Street, as we will be blocking off from Roberson to Benton, and those cars will be available as a car show that night. Cora skipped over the Stars and Stripes event that is ticketed, that will be at the Savoy. Your ticket will include the Taste of C Street. All of the restaurants will be providing food, and it's a chance to mingle, but it also gives you a VIP seating so you can sit down, because at 8 o'clock, that all starts at 7, because at 8 o'clock, we'll be having a lighting ceremony for the footbridge, because from completion onward, the bridge will be lit every night. It will be different colors, it'll be changed for holidays. It will be quite a spectacular thing to come to C Street on the evenings and see. We'll also have a big drone show over top of that. In the hour before and the hour after, we have the MSU jazz bands, Jazz Band 1, Jazz Band 2, there's 2 different ones. They will be playing live all night. We'll shut down for the music that goes with the drone show. That all ends at 9 o'clock, 9:30, whenever we can get the deals out. Next morning, the C Street City Market, that is a very vital part of our community, will still be there. That same footprint will be closed. I'm bringing in a different set of 110 historic cars for a car show that will go on until from 8 to 1. And at 10 o'clock in that time period, we will have the official rededication, which we will have officials from the state, the city, the people that have worked so hard and been involved in preserving the bridge will be part of that big ceremony. And then after that, we've partnered up with Queen City Shout, and Eddie Gamuzio is bringing 6 of his top bands from there, and the live music starts at 11 and will play till 6 o'clock that night. So there's lots of stuff going on. We're celebrating what a beautiful bridge we have, what a historic part. All during the day on Saturday, there will be other things happening up and down the street. We have a beer garden. We have the new Mumbles 1888 that will be serving things. And we have down at the historic firehouse, there will be presentations by Richard Crabtree, some of the model, the OMR model train. People will be there. There'll be model trains for the kids to see. All of this event is totally free to the public. The only ticketed event is the Stars and Stripes. So we've worked very hard. We're very proud of our street, and we really, really want to put our best foot forward so that all these people coming in for Route 66 will want to come back and spend time in Springfield. So if anybody has any questions of what's going on?
I have a question.
Lots good. Yes, ma'am.
When will the bridge be to where we can walk across it?
When will it be? They won't tell me. I will guarantee that it will be at least this fall before that happens. The way the process has been, it is currently under the contractor under Bronco's jurisdiction and their liability. It will not become city property back again for that until it is totally finished. We've had some challenges, supply chain. I was talking with a couple of people earlier about how that affects everybody's business, how one little widget that's made somewhere else can block up everything. And the 2 elevators have been the challenge for that. And until those are installed, everybody was saying, well, can't we open it without those? Can't we put the steps in and get it? No, because of the insurance and the liability. So it'll be this fall. But we've had so many people that wanted to be involved, so many local things, that there will still be a celebration when that happens on C Street. Kelty's will probably be working with us. We've got some, people that have wagons, historic wagons, want to come and do that and bicycles. The Bicycle Museum will be open, for those of you that know about it. James will be having a photo opportunity there, but bicycles were a huge part of the bridge because that's how most people got around at the time of the bridge. So we'll have a second celebration. It just won't be as big and flashy because we wanted to take advantage of the money that was on the table. Anything else? Well, please come and join us, especially Friday night. It's going to be beautiful.
Thank you for both
Time
of
for
those
Cora to leave.
presentations.
I forgot to
We
turn
do
it off.
have
Sorry.
a few minutes. Congressman Burleson, would you like to?
I'll be quick. First, I want to touch on a few connections here. So Matt and I did go to Parkview High School, so go Vikings. I also worked at Cox Health at Cox North for many of the years that I've been, after I left college. And then I went to run for state representative and had the honor and the privilege of replacing Marty's father, B.J. Marsh, who was a legend in this community. And so I've been serving since. And so it's been quite a roller coaster over the last few months. And it's been, it's been extremely stressful and high stakes in Washington, D.C. So setting the conflict or the war in Iran aside, and I just pray that this conflict is at an end and that we can move on. But look, I'm not seeing good news that's coming out of Iran today. They're declaring that no one's going to stop them from continuing their enrichment process, which is not a good indicator. So we'll just pray for that conflict and for the peace talks to go forward in a positive manner. Outside of that, I just, when I'm in district, Steve, who is my district director, keeps me very busy. And in fact, today, to give you an idea, we met with Springfield Public Schools, then we met with Homeland Security, we met with ICE officials, as well as HSI officials, who are the group that investigates child trafficking, human sex trafficking in this area, which is, it's startling that is a thing, but you have an entire team of people that are working on that. And it's hard given the fact that we're in a government shutdown, and these agencies are working with bare bones while they've been able to figure out a way to get these employees paid. At the end of the day, all of their resources have been cut. They don't have any backup resources. They have no operational money whatsoever. So, and it's just really unfortunate. And the one message that they kind of wanted to convey is that a lot of that they feel like is not getting out there is that the way that ICE has handled things for decades and decades has been consistent and the same. What's really kind of getting them a bad name is a lot of the fact that Customs and Border Patrol have moved into the interior, and their way of policing is a little bit is different than the way that ICE has been doing it for decades and decades. So look, these are, at the end of the day, our law enforcement is there to enforce the law that we put on the books. They've been doing the exact same work all this time, but it's really unfortunate to see the amount of activity, anger, and hatred that's addressed towards these people who are just trying to do their job. I'm fine with anger and hatred towards me. I'm used to it. I can take it. I'm a big boy. But let's give, to give the respect to our law enforcement officials, the respect that they deserve. So when we go back, we are going to be funding Homeland Security. Despite the efforts of some who don't want to see any funding and they want to use that as a way of leveraging the rest of us, that's not going to work. We're going to pass reconciliation. In that reconciliation, we're going to not only fund it, but we're going to fund it for the duration of Trump's entire term so that it's no longer used as a weapon. We're going to fund them, and then we're probably going to fund them more than they had anticipated before. So that the efforts of those who want to defund them is going to fall flat on that. In addition, we need to start addressing, the projects that I work on have to do with healthcare reform. So I've been working to try to address a lot of the problems that we see in the rising costs of healthcare. For many years, I worked here at Cox Health. Worked for almost 22 years here, and many of them were here at this building. But during that time, you got to see a lot of the failures of the healthcare system. Now being taken a step outside of it, I'm able to kind of see it from a third perspective. And so we have got to return to a place where people are making the decisions about their healthcare, not big corporations and not government entities. And so you are better with your dollars and your healthcare dollars than anybody else in knowing where to spend those. And so that's where my bill is going to be focused, is trying to get those dollars back into your hands so that you're able to be empowered to go make the healthcare decisions that you want to make. So for example, the real innovative thing that's happening in healthcare, direct primary care where doctors are treating patients almost the way that they used to, where you had a doctor that was on call for your family. You could call them at any time. They could call the script. You didn't have to schedule for these appointments. They treat you like a first class customer, and that is only right now available to people basically who have the money and the means. And so we need to change that, and I'm a big fan of the idea of getting the money to the people, whether if you're on government aid, then the government money comes to you in a form of a health savings account, and then you're able to take that, or if you want to put your dollars in tax-free, that money goes into a health savings account. If your employer is helping you, that money would go into your account, and then you can then purchase the insurance you want to buy. You can purchase the health care that you want to purchase. And in addition, we want people to be healthy and not just insured. And so when you look at America, we spend very little on our food. We spend a lot on the back end, on the healthcare. We eat a lot of processed food in this country, a lot of very unhealthy things. And so how can we change that? Well, we've already seen the food pyramid be flipped upside down, and protein and unprocessed protein and produce is at the top of the pyramid, the focus, as it should be. But what we can do is encourage people with their health savings accounts to purchase healthy food. So in my plan that we will be dropping next week as we come back into session is a plan that is going to allow for people to use your health savings account to go to a grocery store and purchase unprocessed protein and produce. That means it means chicken, it means steak, it could be vegetables, fruit. What it doesn't mean is sausage. It doesn't mean yogurt that's sugary yogurt. It's got to be unprocessed, healthy food, right? And so at the end of the day, this is a new benefit that everyone in America would be able to benefit from, where you're able to buy your groceries with tax-free money. And so we're trying to be innovative, find ways of flipping the cost or changing the cost curve, bending it down, and getting America healthy again. And so that's what I'll be focused on, is making sure we get our funding done, as well as making America affordable. So it's an honor to be here. Do you want me to take questions?
Yeah, we do a couple questions, sure.
Yes.
As part of that you're doing with the healthy food purchase, are you going to have a segment that deals with the local farmers markets. Because we currently have some things, because I was on the board with the C Street City where we did the double up, part of the double up program, where if you still bought your fresh fruits and vegetables and stuff, then you got a coin that doubled it to help you buy more of that. And not all programs cover that venue for getting your fresh fruits and vegetables and your things. Is that gonna be part of the program?
So did you all hear the question she was asking about the farmer's market, whether that would be part of the program? It all has to do with the way that the seller is skewing the product.
Right.
So the banks, that's the way they categorize this, is all based on SKU numbers. So when somebody goes to try to purchase it with their card, if it's skewed correctly and the bank is, bank card, it will be able to accept it or not accept it.
Okay, so there will be
Yeah.
an avenue for the farmers to go through to be able to accept
Yes.
that cost payment.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you.
So basically, the financing set up basically like an IRA, isn't it? But
Yes.
They invest and then your employer can invest as well.
Yeah, in fact, that's what we're doing. Health savings accounts right now are only available to very few people. You have to meet specific circumstances in order to get that benefit. So if you're a union member, you cannot have an HSA. If you are, retiree or Medicare, you can't have a health savings account. We're eliminating that. We're saying every American, just like every American can have an individual retirement account, every American can have a health savings account. And one of the ideas that's been floated is that we have to send back all this tariff funds because of the Supreme Court decision. And so one of the ideas being floated is to really kind of get this going and kicked off, is to divide those tariff funds and seed every American's HSA account with some funds that are coming back that would normally have to be sent back to these foreign countries and foreign corporations.
You got anything to say on Social Security tax?
On the Social Security tax?
Yeah.
We haven't, sadly, Congress hasn't done anything about Social Security. It's a third rail that no one politically wants to touch, but.
We would like for them to touch it.
But it is, if we don't do anything, it's gonna, I'm not to, like sober you, but if we don't do anything in about 7 to 8 years, it's gonna go bankrupt. And and I'm not, this is not to be partisan, but the Democrats in the 80s, when they passed Social Security reform, they put a mechanism that when the Social Security Trust Fund goes bankrupt, it only pays out as a proportion of what is coming in. So it basically only sends out what's coming in, which means every retiree will have a 24% reduction in their Social Security payments. So that we can't let that happen. One of the ideas that I've floated, try to balance the issue that we have with H-1B visas and the immigration policy. This came from researching this topic and seeing that you definitely do have a problem in America where you have large corporations. Like, for example, I worked for Cerner, a company out of Kansas City. There, towards the end, they were laying off entire teams of programmers, and they would replace them with H-1B workers from India. And it's great to see people that are immigrants coming in and trying to work, but not to the detriment of U.S. workers. What was disturbing is when you realize those H-1B workers, they do not pay FICA, which is the Social Security tax. I have to pay FICA, you have to pay FICA. Why, that is an economic disadvantage for an American citizen trying to get a job. That means the employer doesn't pay 15%. They have to pay 50% more for a U.S. citizen.
And when it's paid out, it's taxed again.
Right, and when you paid out, you're taxed again. So look, and if I didn't have to pay FICA, I would elect to not pay FICA. I would say, I will check out of the Social Security retirement. I'll take that money and put it in my own retirement and have a much better return. But we're all forced to pay into FICA, and I think that it's only fair that we would say, if you're here in this country on visa, you should also pay into FICA whether you're going to receive Social Security or not.
Amen. Thank you.
And that would be a really great way of evening the playing field but also shoring up our Social Security Trust Fund.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Well, thank you. It's an honor to serve this area. It's really an honor to be at this meeting. When this organization began, my grandfather, Maurice Burleson, worked with Casey Funkhauser. I don't know if anybody recognizes these names. And Sam Hamra and Ralph Slavens, if anybody remembers these names, to start this organization. And so it's an important organization to me and my family. It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Do appreciate you being here and appreciate your work. I know it's complicated issues, so thank you. We're going to do a drawing real quick. I think we've got a 50-50, 20